Okay, so earlier today on this page, I posted about the term jutsu, J-U-T-S-U. And Professor Hilton, when he was talking to me a year ago, Kenpo Jutsu, he wanted to use that spelling. And in techniques, and I'm not very rehearsed in the Japanese language, but my understanding of techniques, but it is that thing that's not seen, not so visible to the eye. So for example, we just finished rolling, so I'm a little sweaty and all this stuff. We've been going since it's 9:40. We've been going since 7. Actually about 6:30 for me. So if he punches with this hand, you remember we did this one earlier. Boom. So if you watch that, you see that, right? You see, he did a quick change. You see that he stepped. You see that he punched. You see that he checked. You see that he punched. And maybe you don't even see that much depending on your level, right? Or maybe you see more depending on your level. But I think the jutsu is what we don't see, right? And I want to talk about a little bit of that. So when this comes in, and I'm here, my check is here. Because I don't know if he's going to spin. I don't know where we're going. I want to be connected. And this is a full stance. And I'm up on the balls of my feet. And when I turn, it's this quarter turn. And the quarter turn, boom, is what's going to give me that punch, right? Then I'm going to half turn. But when I do that, I'm using here. So when I do this check, in my mind, even though my hand's here, I want to feel like a force and a pressure here. Because I learned very early on, if I push the arm very quick, I'm actually going to see if this guy had a spinning elbow or a spinning back fist, I'm actually giving him that velocity, that movement. So, quick change off to the side, a quarter turn. Then, here, yes, I'm checking, but the pressure is in. So if he starts to turn now, I'm here. I'm able to adjust to that pressure. So, that's what's not seen. It's the pressure and that connection. So once again, he comes here. Here, it's a quarter turn, full turn, and then it's another quarter turn for that punch. Right? And depending on what I'm doing, pop. I'm going from there. So it's that. I think it's, and this is a thing that I've been fortunate enough on the jiu-jitsu side with Royce is to understand, because they talk, Royce not so much. Royce don't like to use the term invisible or hidden jiu-jitsu. Hickson, on the other hand, talks about it all the time. And it's the connection of things, right? So let me give an example of that on the ground, because I think we see it all the time when we're standing up. You know, I remember Joe Lewis saying to me, and any of those of you that on the page have trained with Grandmaster Lewis know the guy was intense, right? Mike Albenzi knows it probably more than anybody because he trained with him more. But if I'm standing here between the elbows, we're in the scope of the rifle. We're both firing. But by 1 inch step to the side, and then there's this triangle here, there's this triangle here, and then there's triangle here that opens right up for me. So just this little step, but most people don't see that. They see a combination, they see an uppercut, cross, hook, but they don't, the body movement, it's the stuff that's not seen. Or it's the stuff that's felt, the pressure, the connection, right there. So now I want to show this because to me, it's more, man, I don't want to say more visible because that's different. But Scott, so we're here. Let's do the armbar real quick. So you're about in my garden. Thank you. Put your hand here. So what I'm going to do is just from here. Now, one of the most common things that happens if I'm in the ground, by the way, too, I never want my knees pulled up. If they're pulled up, I'm going to walk my shoulders back a little bit. One of the most common things is for this person to counter. Two things, the most reaction is for them to pull the elbow out. Bring it back in. That's one. So let's talk about that one first. As soon as I feel that happening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross my ankles and I'm going to curl my heels towards my butt. Almost like I'm doing a leg curl. Can you pull it out? I'm not even touching it. Not even touching it. So that's the unseen, right? So when someone's like, dude's armbar was phenomenal. Was it, or was it his control? So now if I'm holding his wrist and I do that, he wants to tap already because it's there. Now the other most common thing is they stack. Meaning they're going to come up and they're going to stack me back. Yeah, that's going to be a bad thing. All right, so. And when I cross my ankles, this fixes this elbow problem. But if my ankles are crossed and he stands up, I actually give him a greater stack. Because my resistance of my legs and my tension bring this power into me faster. So when he's back, come back, let's back up the air. Thank you. So when I'm here, when I start feeling the stack, I undo this. And it's almost like I'm just going to take a right step, left step. So when he starts to come up, it's body head. Right? So he's here. He starts to stack me now. 1, 2. And I'm not worried about it. Is it harder for you to stand up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1, 2. And if I walk my shoulders, it's there. And then I'm back to this thread. And maybe this hand comes in. And then I go back to this thread. Right? So I can have all these different. Or this. Right? Or back into here. And I never let him have center line. So this to me is the part that we don't see. And there's such a wide variety. We have all the higher ranking masters of the group on here right now. And then we have newer students. But depending on where our level is, what we see, and it's the feel though, right? Mm-hmm. Each one of those things, like we've been working this arm bar and stacking to fits, counter reaction. I call it speed bump jiu-jitsu for me, because 2 weeks away from 57, so I'm slowing down young dudes. Just slow down a little bit in the parking lot so I can catch you. And hopefully they make a mistake during the slowing down process. Because I'm not going to keep up with the 20-year-old speed. Trevor Hinton, black belt, 145-pound champ, been gone for 4 years. Airborne Army Ranger, 225 now. 145 to 225. Solid. He's fighting on the Army team. So today he was in. And it's so hard. But I always realize if I take bottom, and if I can keep 2 hands from getting in for the choke, I can keep it. When I can slow him, somebody like that down, way ahead of the game. So defense first. But I think it's the, and I don't want to use the word invisible, hidden. That's Henry Akins. That's Royce Gracie. Royce was very adamant once in jiu-jitsu. There is no hidden jiu-jitsu. There's no invisible jiu-jitsu. There's no leg lock jiu-jitsu. There's no back jiu-jitsu. It's jiu-jitsu. And his point was, if you know jiu-jitsu, you'll know those things, right? When we're doing Kenpo, when we know the move, what is the connection, the pressure? Where is my check leading to? Am I shutting down the hips? Am I stopping the centrifugal force? Is it harder for him to move and punch me? Am I allowing my hips and torque and connection? And also I'll corkscrew punch a little bit when I hit. I didn't do that, but I did it. Did I do that with you last Tuesday? No, were you here Tuesday? Because somebody else I hit with a corkscrew punch. So it's just like here, and but turn the punch. So anyway, love to know there's so many people on the page. Joe Wilson, Rick Arnold, Michael Albenzi, Ale Abrigo, Eddie Diaz. I can't remember if Tommy Whitaker's on the page. Did I say Joe Lewis? Not Joe Lewis, I mean Joe Wilson. So I would love your insight. What's your thoughts on this? But I think Jutsu, to me, right now, from what I read and understand, and at least the way I'm wanting to filter it right now for me, Shane Hilton. I don't think Professor Hilton, but I'll send this to him maybe. It's the thing that's not so visible to the eye. It's the feel, the touch. What is it that made that punch so powerful? What is it that made the check where you felt? What is it that made your punch miss? What was the angle that opened up that uppercut cross hook? What was the connection that stopped the armbar from pulling out? What was the connection that stopped the stack? So that's Jutsu. I would love to know everybody's input, the higher ranks especially, but anybody that has input or wants to say something, open the comments up here. I want to hear more. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good night.